So today we're talking about my 7 must-have crystals. Let's take a look. Hello, my little wonderbugs. Welcome back to my channel. And for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Maria Sewell. I'm a witch tarot card reader. And in my channel, we talk about lifestyle, witchcraft, and divinations. And today we're talking about my 7 must-have crystals. So these crystals are just my opinion on the 7 must-have crystals. It's not necessarily a strong, hard rule that you have to have these crystals. It's just what I've learned and my staple to crystals that I gravitate to, that were the first crystals that I actually purchased and or were gifted to me, and that are special to me, that I actually use on a daily basis for my practice, whether it be tarot card readings or spell work. So yeah. But before we start looking at these lovely crystals, I'd like to remind you that I actually have another video on my top 5 crystals for love and romance. You can check it out right here, it'll pop up. Also, if you guys are interested in supporting my channel and helping me continue doing videos here, please go to my Patreon and support me there, where you can see behind the scenes stuff of basically me creating these lovely videos and more. All right, so first and foremost, you have clear crystal quartz. Now this is kind of cut, kind of not cut looking. It's very raw that I've had for many years. It was actually given to me by a married couple who we were both, well, all of us were learning. We were studying basically some magic, and they gave it to me as like a little graduation prize. That's the way I could describe it. And I still hold this very dear. I actually have this in my first tarot deck. I put it actually in the little sash that I have for it, and that's where that's its home. So, and I've had this for a good 7-8 years, give or take, and I love it. I hold it in my hands when I am doing a reading with the particular deck that I have it with or connected to. And this is awesome. Now, the great thing about clear crystal quartz is that it is a master of everything. It's a jack of all trades. And the great thing about it is that because of that, you can do whatever the heck you want with it. You can program it to do and be whatever you want. Do you want it attracting love, money, health, calming you, or whatever? Anything. It works for that. And it's pretty and shiny, and why not? Now, the second crystal that I recommend is rose quartz. Now, this was given to me by a very special friend that she actually picked out from a quarry of some sort upstate, which I don't know where she got it, but I know that she grabbed it from somewhere there. And it's also very rough cut. It's not, doesn't have any points on it, but I like it like this. I like it raw. And I also have these that are tumblestones of rose quartz. I like to have these in my hands when I am trying to attract love, but not necessarily romantic love, because rose quartz is really good for more than just romantic love. It's actually better for self-love and love in like a more pure kind of sense, not in a sexual or passionate kind of way. It's more of it's a very calming crystal. That's the best way I could describe it. So it's not meant for sex or anything like that. It's more romantic love or love for yourself or the people around you. So if you live in a very not so, maybe a little bit hectic of a household, or you want to attract more prosperity when it comes to emotional prosperity, rose quartz is definitely the quartz for you. All right, so the third crystal that I am actually really fond of is Citrine. The reason I like citrine is that it's a very good go-getter for money, for prosperity. And it's just really good for that. It's really good if you want to attract that. And also, it cleans out a lot of negativity. But get this, you don't have to clean the citrine. For some reason or another, citrine does not need to be cleansed. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I've been told several times that citrine does not need to be cleansed or anything in that nature. It's kind of like a never-ending, it doesn't repel, it like destroys negativity. That's what I've been told. I just love it because it attracts money and prosperity, and that's definitely something that I think everybody needs at all times because, you know, you need to eat. Now this one I got at a psychic fair that I normally go to on a regular, well at the time I did. And one of the vendors that was there, she was a friend of mine that I have become good close friends with, and she gave it to me at a discount. And when I saw this, I was like, I have to have this crystal. And if you've ever seen my pick a card videos, you'll notice that this one's out and about on the table all the time. And it's because I just love it. It's just has like this really good energy. It makes me feel like if the more I have it near me, the more not prosperity in a money sense, but in a I'm doing more activities. I'm more dedicated to certain things to bring me prosperity. So it sort of like boosts the energy to continue forward or to move forward to prosperity. At least that's how I feel when I'm grabbing it and then using it and all that jazz or have it near me. So it's actually a very good crystal. I highly recommend it. Now our fourth crystal is cornelian. There we go. They come in different colors. Well, not different colors, but some are lighter than others. This one's obviously darker. This one's lighter. It's more like a yellowy color, where this one's more of an orangey color. But they're usually in the orangey, yellowy kind of family color. And I love it because it's all about confidence and empowering yourself to move forward, and also sexual energy. So unlike the rose quartz that was more for self-love and emotional love, this is more hanky-panky in the bedroom-mo. So if you are eager to get a sex life moving, have cornelian with you, because that'll attract and get things rolling with your partner, especially if things are going a little bit slow or they're not as potent as they normally are. Just have this around them, have them hold it or keep it with them at all times, and or especially during that time period when you're doing certain things, and it will help out the situation. That looked weird. Okay, so our fifth crystal is tiger's eye. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So our fifth crystal is tiger's eye. I don't know if you can focus it, if it'll focus, but come on, tiger's eye, come on. There you go, tiger's eye. If you could tell, it has like this really cool little look to it. The great thing about tiger's eye is that it's good for cleaning out negativity and reversing it, like combating it, and also grounding. So if you're like frantic and you don't know what to do and you're like really nervous, have some tiger's eye with you and it'll like just mellow you out. So it's great for cleansing, for negativity, and to ground you. And sometimes we really need that, especially if you are a psychic or that you work with psychic energies of some sort or kind, or around people and you're like maybe an empath or something like that. Tiger's eye is great to keep that sort of mellow in your day-to-day life that you might need. So number 6 crystal is amethyst, as you can see right here and here. Very pretty, very purpley. Now amethyst is actually citrine that has been cooked. Not necessarily in an oven, but that can happen. You can get cooked citrine literally that turns into amethyst. But technically speaking, realistically or naturally, that is when citrine in the ground heats up for whatever reason, it becomes into amethyst. So it becomes purple. Don't ask me why, it just does. And this particular amethyst, I actually have in my runes bag, my little bag with runes. I actually keep this in there. Again, I hold it with me when I am reading my runes. I hold it for helping me out with concentrating and reading them better, I guess you could say. Now, amethyst is good for spiritual growth, meaning working with your third eye and all that. There's also a good amount of healing here to be had. It's good for grief or sadness. It's very excellent for that. So if you feel like sadness or grief, this is a good stone to have around you for whatever reason, whether it be somebody that you've lost or otherwise. It's also very great for stress that you can accumulate, and it helps you sort of soothe the stress out of you. Last but definitely not least, we've got selenite. And these little things were given to me by a very good friend that I really appreciate that she gave them to me. And then this I purchased, and this is I think a desert rose, but it's basically selenite in a little ball, for a lack of a better term. Selenite is very good for spiritual growth, spiritual anything. If you want to connect with your angels, your spirit guides, it's like super duper high up there. If you want to do some cray stuff, this is the crystal to do. Like, so if you want to go and see your Akashic records or do something really wild and crazy spiritually, that is more of a higher sense, or like angels and all that jazz, this is the crystal to have. One thing that I must say about selenite that you have to keep in mind, and that is that you cannot by any means necessarily wet this. So if you're going to cleanse it with smoke or with salt or with anything else. But do not cleanse it with water. Do not put it under water. Do not sprinkle it with water. No water whatsoever. Unless it's part of what you're doing, or you're meant, like you mean to do what you to put it in water. And the reason is because it will literally start to dissolve. It is very it's very fragile when it comes to that. So I do not recommend that you have it outside in the rain. No, like I said, no sprinkling of water, no spraying, no nothing. And like myself, I live in a very humid place. My apartment is not the most driest of environments. So I actually have a dehumidifier here in my apartment to help me with that same problem. So I would be very careful to not get them wet. They can be a little dusty as well. Like they might, some of it might fall off if it's not, like this is raw. So when I go like that, sometimes it does come off my fingers. So just be a little careful. So this would be more like a little bit of an upgrade, I guess you could say, of crystal, like maintenance, but it's not that bad. I hardly ever do anything with them. I just leave them there for the purpose of, enhancing my abilities when I do readings, and that's all. And I don't touch them. I try not to touch them. Actually, this is the most I've touched them since I've gotten them. So yeah, suggestion, just leave them alone. Give them a purpose. So my suggestion is just leave them alone, give them a purpose, but just leave them alone after that. Don't touch them as often as you might think or would want to, like with other crystals. But they are amazing. They are big powerhouses. They can hold a lot of energy, and they can definitely help you get up there in the, I guess you could say in the higher level of psychic abilities, if you really are ready and want to. Definitely the way to go. Now, before we say goodbye, I'd like to know one thing, and that is, what were your first crystals, or what are the crystals that I've shown or otherwise that you're thinking about purchasing? Leave them down in the comment section. All right, so that is this week's video, but don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to let you know when I come out with a video. Other than that, guys, much love and blessings.